our life.
जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदानंदन जय ब्रज निरंजना जय यशोदानंदन जय ब्रज निरंजना जय यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा गोपीनाथ श्री राधे जय जगन्नाथा जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमा जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parijakacharya Ashtotra Shri Srimad Abhaycharanaravinda, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parijakacharya Ashtotra Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to this evening's Srimad Bhagavatam class. We are hearing a beautiful series of lectures from Srimad Bhagavatam, where each day we are meditating on a different topic from Srimad Bhagavatam and different personalities who can inspire us and who can show us the way of how to serve Krishna. So before we hear more about who is our very sweet personality today that we are going to hear about, let us take the blessings of all our acharyas and our gurus and Srila Prabhupada, and then let us begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirayet. Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopak Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bhute Mahadvirya Ima Puru Vibhu Nirmaya Shete Yadamushu Purusha Bhumter Gunam Shodasatmaka Solam Krishishta Bhagavan Vachamsi Me. Shri Krishna Sharanam Sharanagatam Katha Amritam Satatapi Bhatam Bhakti Vedanta Marga Panktanam Sarvaloka Rishi Deva Janna Prasannam. Sarvaloka Rishi Deva Janna Prasannam. Hare Krishna. Once again, I wish to pay my humble pranams to all of you who are here today to hear from Srimad Bhagavatam. So today we are meditating on a beautiful personality who received so much mercy from Sri Krishna, who was so fortunate that what she received is completely unparalleled. The sweet exchanges that she had with Lord Krishna cannot be compared to what anyone had, even Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva or Lord Indra, none of them received that much mercy that this sweet devotee received. And we know that Lord Krishna is the supreme controller. He is the controller of the whole cosmic creation, of all these universes, everything. But still, this Supreme Lord comes under the control of this devotee. Why? Because she won him over with her pure love. Now, as we're hearing this, we might think, yes, it's Srimati Radharani, who is always serving Shri Krishna, who is such a sweet devotee, whose love for Krishna can be unmatched by anyone. But we also know that Srimati Radharani is not any different from Krishna himself. She is a part of him. So she is the energy and he is the energetic. So she is the first expansion, the internal energy of Shri Krishna. But then from her comes so many expansions who are all serving Shri Krishna with the same mood of love. But they take different positions. So today we are going to hear about this wonderful devotee, Mother Yasoda, who was so fortunate to have the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna as her darling son. So what did she do? How did she attain this position of being the mother of Shri Krishna? And what are the sweet pastimes that she had with Shri Krishna? How did she serve him? What was her mood? What can we learn from her? How can we follow in her footsteps? And how does she inspire us? What does Srila Prabhupada teach us that we can learn from Mother Yasoda? So let us look at all this today. So Srila Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he explains about the 5 types of rasas or mellows by which one can relish a loving relationship with Krishna. So there are 5 types of ways or relationships through which we can enjoy, serving Krishna. Now, the first one is Shantarasa, which is neutrality. So here, there is still not that really, that feeling of love to serve. That is not yet there. But it is just that, it's a neutral platform. And our acharyas explain that actual love, the bhava of love, starts from dasya. So that is the next rasa. So through dasya rasa, devotees engage in serving Krishna as his servant. So we have many devotees who take that position, who see themselves as the servant of Krishna. And in one way, we are all just servants of Krishna. So, we are all also experiencing that. Then a little bit above that is Sakhya Rasa, where one feels friendship with the Lord. So there they feel equal to the Lord, like all Krishna's Gopa friends and even some of the gopis and, all those who are equal to him. And then we see the Vatsalya Rasa or the Vatsalya Bhava, which is experienced by those who are a little bit superior to Krishna, who are older than him. So his parents, like Mother Devaki, Vasudev, and then Nanda Maharaj, Mother Yasoda. And then we see, many different personalities like Bhishmadev or Akrura. So they're all seniors of Krishna. They're all older, but they have that parental loving affection for Krishna. And then we have the Madhurya Rasa, where one engages in a loving conjugal relationship with Krishna, which was relished by all the gopis of Vrindavana, following the mood of Srimati Radharani. So Srila Prabhupada explains that this mode of serving Krishna as an elder, as a parent, it is not something that we can easily understand. So there's a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna premera eka apurva prabhava Guru samalagu ke karaya dasya bhava. So let's hear the translation. Love for Krishna has this one unique effect. It imbues superiors, equals, and inferiors with the spirit of service to Lord Krishna. So this is such a beautiful line for us to be inspired by and to reflect on. So when someone reaches a stage of experiencing that love for Krishna, what is it that really characterizes that feeling? And that is service to Krishna. So one begins to serve Krishna with more determination, with more faith, with more energy, with more enthusiasm. And Srila Prabhupada explains that even these persons who are superior to Krishna, they grab that opportunity or they take the chance to offer loving service to Krishna. And this cannot be easily understood. But at the same time, Srila Prabhupada says that just by seeing the amazing way, or he uses the words, the super excellence of their particular service to Lord Krishna. So just by trying to see that, we can understand what it is. And a vivid example of this loving service for Krishna with the mood of parental love, with this mood of Vatsalya Bhava, is Mother Yasoda. And we also see that the Supreme Lord, in his feature as Lord Narayana, now he also accepts services from all his associates, but as either equal to him or as, those who are a little bit subordinate to him. But it is only Lord Krishna who appears as this sweet little boy who accepts service even from someone who is superior to him, so that they can chastise him. For example, we see how Mother Yasoda is running with a stick and she's trying to catch him. And all this, we don't see this, beautiful Leela with anyone else. So that's what makes it very special. The very special position of Mother Yasoda. And then Srila Prabhupada explains that by following in the footsteps of these devotees who are Nitya Siddhas, or who are eternal associates of the Lord, by following in their footsteps, then one day even we can achieve that humble position of serving Shri Krishna, of associating with him in Goloka Vrindavana. So, and then we see how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Aradhyo Bhagavan Rajesha Tanayas Tadama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachitupasana Vrajavadu Vargenaya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamamanam Prema Pumarto Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam Tatradharo Na Paraha. So, Shri Krishna, as the son of Nanda Maharaja and Yasoda and is the darling of Vrindavan, so that is the highest vision that we can see of Krishna. And Prema Pumarto Mahan. So the highest perfection of our life is attaining prema or love for Krishna. And who else portrays that other than Mother Yasoda, who is considered as one of the topmost devotees of Shri Krishna. And Yasoda, just her very name means the one who gives fame. Yasho, fame, and Da means to give, Yasoda. And our acharyas explain that how does she give fame? So by receiving such mercy from Krishna, she is actually showing us and how a devotee who can serve Krishna can attain his mercy. So in a way, they are both giving fame to each other. So Lord Krishna is making his mother very famous, and his mother is also, making Krishna, who is already, there is nothing that he needs from us, but just through her service and as showing her son as the most compassionate Lord, she is giving fame to him. So we see an introduction to Mother Yasoda in chapter 2 of Canto 10. So through today's class, we will just hear various pastimes between Mother Yasoda and Lord Krishna as her little son. What are the exchanges they had? How sweetly they enjoyed each other's dealings. And then we see all the various bhavas. There is Navarasa, Shringara, Hasya, Karuna, Raudra, Veera, Bhayanaka, Adbhuta, Shanta. How Mother Yasoda also experienced all these various different emotions in her dealings with Krishna. At one time, she's just looking at him and feeling beautiful. At one time, she's so afraid that something might happen to Krishna. At one time, she's so anxious. And then at some time, she's angry and she wants to chastise him. And at one time, she's just laughing at all that, all her gopi friends are coming and telling her about little Krishna. And at one time, she's just struck with wonder. She's like amazed. Is this really my son? What's going on here? So like that, there are so many wonderful rasas that we can see in the pastimes between Mother Yasoda and Lord Krishna. So let us try to see how much we can cover and what we can hear. So now how did Lord Krishna first of all become the son of Mother Yasoda? Because we know that Lord Krishna appeared as the son of Mother Devaki. And then how did Mother Yasoda come into the picture? Now, of course, most of us may know about the appearance of Lord Krishna, but for those who are perhaps hearing or who are new to this, just for their pleasure. So after Kamsa killed the 6 sons of Devaki, when Devaki and Vasudeva were imprisoned, now what happened? Lord Krishna's first expansion, that is, Lord Anantadeva, he entered the womb of Mother Devaki. And at this time, Lord Krishna, he spoke to Yogamaya, who is his spiritual energy or his spiritual potency. And what did he tell her? He said, Ataham amshabhagena devakya putra putratam shubhe prapsyasmi tvam yashodayam nanda patnyam bhavishyasi. So, the Supreme Lord, he spoke to Yogamaya and he said that now, O auspicious one, he calls her as the auspicious one because she received the blessings of Lord Krishna. And he says, now you appear as the daughter of Mother Yasoda. And at this time, I will appear as the son of Mother Devaki. And then what does he say? But before that, you have to transfer Anantadeva, that is, who is going to be Lord Krishna's elder brother. You transfer Anantadeva from the womb of Mother Devaki to the womb of Mother Rohini, who is living in Braja. And then he says, after that, I will appear. And then let us see what happens. So following the instruction of the Supreme Lord, what happened? Yogamaya, she transfers Anantadeva from the womb of Mother Devaki to the womb of Mother Rohini. And therefore, he is also called as Sankarshana. That means she attracted him to the womb of Mother Rohini. And then after that, we see how all the demigods, they offered prayers for welcoming Lord Krishna. And now Janmashtami is soon coming, so we are all also getting excited and ready for that. So it's really nice that we can hear about the appearance of the Lord. So then what happened? Lord Krishna, when everything was perfect, in a very pleasing atmosphere and with kettle drums beating and with, when just the clouds were thundering mildly and the waves of the ocean were just so calm, and when everything was so pleased, Lord Krishna, he appeared as the son of Mother Devaki with 4 hands, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, with holding all this from her heart. And seeing this, Vasudeva and Devaki, they were just so bewildered. But then following the Lord's instructions, what happened? Then Vasudeva, he took baby Krishna to Braja and he left the little baby Krishna next to Mother Yasoda because she was sleeping. And then from there, he took the baby girl, that is Yogamaya, who had appeared there, and he brought her back to the prison house. So now what happened? So as soon as Lord Krishna was, there in Braja, then slowly all the beautiful pastimes unfold one after the other. So the first thing that we see is, as soon as the baby is born, we all know how everyone just wants to celebrate. They want to welcome the new baby. So it begins with the big celebration in Braja called as Nandotsava, which is the birth ceremony or the bathing ceremony of baby Krishna, and which is like a purificatory process. So we can see, right from his baby form, how the Supreme Lord is allowing himself to be served by all these devotees of Braja. So Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yasoda and Mother Rohini, they were all so beautifully dressed, wearing different ornaments and, colorful clothes and everything. And they were so excited and they welcomed all the guests to their house. And also all the Gopas and friends of Nanda Maharaj, they were all just throwing butter at each other. And it was just such a jubilant celebration to welcome Krishna. And then what happens just after that, when Krishna was a little baby, the first demon called Putana arrived. So Kamsa begins to send one demon after the other to trying to kill Krishna. So the first demon who comes is Putana. Now she comes in the form of a beautiful woman, like a beautiful lady, and then, disguised. And then what happens? She takes baby Krishna and she starts feeding him. And then what happens when Krishna, when he just bites and then he just, takes hold of her breast, what happens? Suddenly she turns into her huge, gigantic form, and then she gets her demon form, her actual demon form. And then she is unable to bear, the pinch of Krishna's lips on her. What happens? She then she dies. She's liberated. And what happens at this time? Mother Yasoda and all the gopis, they come running because they just can't imagine what's happened in front of them. There's suddenly this huge demoness, or they don't even know what it is. It's just so long, like Bhagavatam describes, it's like so many miles long, her body, and her breasts were like huge mountains, and her belly and her stomach was like a big playground, and it was just so abominable, just the whole sight of it, that Mother Yasoda, she just couldn't take this whole sight, and she just got so scared. And what happened then? The gopis, they ran and went, and they took baby Krishna and they gave it to Mother Yasoda. And immediately Mother Yasoda, she took her baby and she started feeding him. Then what happened? All the gopis and Mother Yasoda and Mother Rohini, they called all the brahmanas and they chanted different mantras, because they thought, something evil is attacking our child. So then they took cow dung and they applied tilaka that is the tilak that we see, the various parts of Krishna's body, because they wanted to protect him. And then they chanted all these mantras, and then they felt, okay, now our little darling is saved. And then what happens? There's another beautiful festival. So when Krishna was just about 3 months old and he started turning. So you know how babies, first they are just, they lie down on their front and then suddenly they just turn back. So that's a very beautiful moment for the parents to celebrate. And that festival is called as Utthana festival. So Shukadev Goswami, as he is narrating all this to Parikshit Maharaj, he says, Kadachid autanika kautukaplave janma kshayoge samaveta yoshitam vaditra gita dvijamantra vachakais chakara sunor Abhishechanam Sati. So he says that Sati here refers to Mother Yasoda. So Mother Yasoda, along with all her friends, so it is said that this ceremony was specially performed by the mother along with all her women friends. So all of them gathered together and they wanted to celebrate this festival. So again, everyone was so beautifully dressed and they were so, excited about this very special moment. And as Mother Yasoda was so busy with all these different arrangements, she had to look after all the guests and everything. So what did she do? She put Krishna into a cradle and she placed the cradle under a cart, which is called as a shakata. So she placed and then she just got busy with all her different activities, whatever she had to do. She had to invite all the guests and take care of them. And at this time, suddenly Krishna, whose legs was, just as soft as a leaf, just with that, he just did one kick onto the cart and the whole cart just collapsed. And all the vessels that were there on the cart, they all fell down and there was this huge noise. And then everyone came running to see what happened. And then they saw that, this whole cart had collapsed, and they were wondering, how did this happen? It's so huge. How can it just fall down on its own? And then all the little boys who were playing there, they went and told Mother Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj, oh, no, Krishna just kicked with his foot and then the cart just fell down. And then they were all just so surprised because they were thinking, he's such a small baby, and how come with just his little kick, the whole cart can fall down? So Mother Yasoda was just bewildered. They couldn't understand. They thought, this is again something mysterious, something evil. So then again, they took the baby and then they started to, chant mantras, and they wanted to purify the baby, and they put cow urine and everything. And then again, Mother Yasoda, she took little Krishna and she started breastfeeding him. And then she was pacified. She felt, okay, now my little Krishna is safe again. So then what happened one day, like just probably after a year, 1 year had passed like this slowly. And then one day, Mother Yasoda, she just had Krishna on her lap. And then what happens? Suddenly, a little baby who's probably just about, 4 kgs weighing or 5 kgs of weight probably. But suddenly the baby was as heavy as a mountain. And Bhagavatam explains that feeling the child to be as heavy as the universe, Mother Yasoda became anxious. And then what did she think? She thought probably some ghost or something is just attacking my child. And thinking, she immediately put baby Krishna on the ground. And then she started praying to Narayana. And she thought, oh, please protect my little child. Because she didn't know that Lord Krishna, who is the Supreme Lord, who is the source of everything, who is the origin, who is the Sarva Karana Karanam. Now all this Mother Yasoda didn't know. Why? Because Lord Krishna's Yoga Maya potency, his Yoga Maya energy had covered her, so that she doesn't realize the supremacy of Krishna. Why? Because Krishna wanted to just enjoy with Mother Yasoda as his sweet mother. And then what happened? One day, suddenly when Krishna was just sitting down, there was this demon, Trinavrata, who was a whirlwind demon. So this whirlwind, it just came and he took Krishna away with him. And now with all the sandstorm, so it was like a big sandstorm or like a dust storm. So in that, Mother Yasoda couldn't see where was Krishna because she had just left him in one place and then she couldn't see where he was. And in just that, what happened? She just fainted and she fell down. Iti kara pavana chakrapam shuvarshe sutta padavima bala vilakshamata ati karunam mamusmarantya shocha bhuvi patitamritavatsakáyatagho. So Srimad Bhagavatam beautifully explains this moment that she just fell down like how a cow had lost her calf. So just like how a mother cow, in separation from her calf cannot bear that, just like that, Mother Yasoda, she just fell down. And then she started crying and crying and crying in grief that her baby was gone. And then in the meantime, what had happened, Krishna, who was carried away by Trinavrata, he just caught his neck, and then Trinavrata, unable to just bear the weight of Krishna, he just fell down himself. And then Krishna also was dropped on the ground, and then all the gopis again, they came running, and they took Krishna and they gave him back to Mother Yasoda. Yashomati Nandana Brajavara Nagara Gokularanjana Kana Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Kaliyadamana Vidana. So now let us hear another beautiful pastime where one day Mother Yasoda, she took Krishna on her lap and she was just looking at him and just caressing him, and she was just admiring his beautiful smile. And suddenly Krishna just yawned. What happened? Mother Yasoda, she saw the whole universe in his mouth, all the directions, the mountains, all the elements, the rivers, the plants, the trees, the animals, everything, the whole universe, all the entire creation. And she just closed her eyes because she couldn't understand. She was thinking, this is my little baby, and what is this? So just, not knowing what to do and thinking that some other danger might come, she just closed her eyes. And then Srila Prabhupada explains that Shri Krishna, even as a little baby, sometimes he just wanted to show his beautiful form, who he really is. So he just wanted to show his Virat Rupa to Mother Yasoda so that she can enjoy that moment. So it's a bit like, watching a movie. Sometimes, we just watch a movie which is like, probably is like a Harry Potter movie or something. It's just like fantasy. And then, it's not real. And then you come back and then you're just out of it. But then here, Krishna wanted to show the real creation to Mother Yasoda. But then again, Yogamaya, she comes into the picture, and then Mother Yasoda just becomes herself again. So then what happens as Krishna and Balram, as they grow up, they started, playing and running and crawling, and they would go and chase all the cows holding the tail, and they would be crawling, and then with all the, sweet little anklets they are wearing, they will be running. And all the gopis, they would enjoy all this. But at the same time, they would also come and complain to Mother Yasoda. Because they would come and say, like, in a way complaining, but in a way also just to relish speaking all the activities of Krishna. So they would come and say, like, what your son did, he came into our house and he broke all these pots and he took all the butter and he just gave it to all the monkeys. And then when, when someone chastises him, what does he do? He says, no, I'm not a thief, you're a thief. And then he just pinches the little kids and then he just runs away. So like this, they will come and describe all the naughty activities of all the, of Krishna and Balram. And then hearing all this, Mother Yasoda would just laugh away, and then, she'll be like, he's just a little boy. And then, Krishna would also pretend like as if he didn't do anything, and he would just go and hide behind his mother. So we can see how Supreme Lord just became a little child, literally like a little child in the hands of Mother Yasoda. Krishna ni begane baru, Krishna ni begane baru, tai ge bayalli jagavanne torita jagadodaraka namma udupi Shri Krishna. So now we're going to hear another beautiful pastime where Krishna once again showed the whole cosmic manifestation in his mouth to Mother Yasoda. So this time what happened? Once Krishna was just playing along with his friends and he started eating mud from the earth, all the dirty mud. And what happened? All Krishna's friends, they came and they complained to Mother Yasoda. So then, what did Mother Yasoda? She wanted to see, is this real? Because even Balram is coming and complaining, so then that means it must be true. He wouldn't lie. So she told Krishna, Kasman Ridam Adantatman Bhavan Bakshitavan Raha Badanti Tavakahete Kumaraste Grajopyayam. So now Mother Yasoda was a little bit angry and she was saying, you restless boy, you went into this place just by yourself, sitting alone, and you've been eating mud. Even Balram is saying you did that. Did you do that? Come on, show me your mouth. And what did Krishna say? He says, Naham bhakshitavanamba sarve mitya vishamshinaha yadi satya girastarhi samaksham pashya me mukham. So he says, Mama, no, I didn't eat anything. I didn't eat mud. They're all just lying about me. If you want, you see for yourself inside my mouth. I will open and you look for yourself. Then Mother Yasoda said, okay, come on. And then when Krishna opened his mouth, again Mother Yasoda, she saw the whole of creation. She saw like blowing wind and fire and water and rivers and oceans and mountains and trees. And then the sun, the moon, the stars, and then all the animals, the deers, the peacocks, the tigers, the lions, and everything. And then she also saw all that we have been hearing about when the creation happened, all about, the mind, the ego, the karmic activities, the desires, everything. It was like a big darshan of the Virat Rupa of the Supreme Lord. So on seeing that, then now Mother Yasoda, she just became humble. She thought, no, this is something now. This is the Supreme Lord. He is someone who is really great, and I have to submit to him. I'm just falsely thinking that Nanda Maharaj is my husband and as if Krishna is my son. No, this is the Supreme Lord. And then she just bows down and she starts offering prayers. Now, Krishna doesn't want this. He wants to enjoy with Mother Yasoda like his dear mom. So then what happens again? Yogamaya, she covers Mother Yasoda with her energy, and then Mother Yasoda then again comes back to her form, and then she takes Krishna on her lap. So now this actually leads us into another beautiful Leela of Mother Yasoda and Krishna. So just before that happens, Parikshit Maharaj is asking Shukdev Goswami, who is Nanda Maharaj and who is Mother Yasoda? How come they were so fortunate that they were able to enjoy all these pastimes with the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna? Then Shukdev Goswami explains that Mother Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj, they were Drona and Dhara. They were the best of the Vasus, and they are the eternal parents. They are the eternal mother and father of Shri Krishna. So Drona is Nanda Maharaj and Dhara is Mother Yasoda. So they are eternal father and mother of Krishna, Lord Krishna in the spiritual world. So whenever Shri Krishna descends onto this, the material world, then all his eternal associates, so they also appear. Why? To assist him in his pastimes, to assist him, to facilitate his beautiful leelas. So then, Parikshit Maharaj understands, okay, so they are not normal beings, and that they are the eternal associates of the Lord. So that's why we see that Mother Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj, they are Nitya Siddhas. So that leads us into the beautiful Damodar Leela. So we know how one day when Mother Yasoda, she was churning yogurt to make butter for Krishna. And as she was churning, she was singing different songs and she was trying to remember all the childish activities of Krishna. And doing this, she was, just churning. And that time, suddenly Krishna came running and he took hold of the churning rod. And he wanted to be fed from his mother. So now Mother Yasoda, she didn't know what to do. Okay, so she left that and she took baby Krishna. She started feeding him. And then suddenly she realized that a pot of milk which she had kept on the stove, that was overflowing. Or she could smell something actually. So then she thought, oh, even that milk is for Krishna. So, let me go and attend to that. So immediately she just left Krishna down and she went to attend that. And now Krishna got angry that his mother just dropped him while he was drinking milk. And so he took a stone and he broke the pot and he spilled all the butter everywhere. And then he stamped on it and he took the butter, he started eating. And then he took the butter and he ran away and he gave it to all his friends and all the monkeys that were around. And then when Mother Yasoda, she came and saw all this mess, she was like wondering who did all this. And then she knows it's the naughty activity of her son. So then what happens? She goes chasing with a stick, trying to catch him. Krishna was running fast and Mother Yasoda was running fast, and it was like a Olympic race that is going on. So then she wanted to catch Krishna and then she wanted to hit him with a stick. Not, like in a very angry way, but, with that motherly love. And what happened? She finally caught him and then she wanted to tie him up with a rope so that he doesn't run away again. And then as she was trying to tie him with there was a wooden mortar. Like in those days, they used to have this wooden mortar with which they will grind spices. So, that was there. And actually Krishna had gone and he was sitting on top of it. So Mother Yasoda, she just put him down and she wanted to tie him up with a rope. And every time she was trying to put a knot, she couldn't. It was just about 2 fingers short, just about like 1 inch or so. And she got more ropes and more and more and more, but still she couldn't tie him up. Then all the gopis who were standing there and watching all this, they were all just laughing away because, Krishna is there and Mother Yasoda is trying to tie him up. What's this? They were all just laughing. And then finally, sweet Lord Krishna, he became so merciful that he allowed himself to be bound by this rope. And then Mother Yasoda could put the knot. So our acharyas explain that, seeing Mother Yashoda's intense effort, she was able to catch him. She was able to tie him up with a rope. Now, all this, our acharyas explain that even what exalted personalities like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Lord Indra, even Yamaraj, what they couldn't attain, what even all the sages, even they couldn't attain, and they couldn't catch Krishna or anything. But here, Krishna was controlled by the pure love of Mother Yasoda. Evam sandarshita hyanga harina bhritya vashyata swavashena pi krishnena yasyedam sheshwaram vashe. So this verse tells us that the Supreme Lord, even though he is so great, he is the Lord of everything in this universe, but still, when someone loves him so dearly with their sincere love and affection, and when they try to serve him with a pure heart, then Krishna comes under their control, or Bhritya Vashyata. Bhritya means they're a devotee, and Vashyata means, he comes under their control. They are able to capture him. So we can see that no one can really match the mercy that Mother Yasoda received. Idam te mukambojam atyanta nilaye Vritam kuntalai snigdha raktaisha gopya Mohushumbitam bimba raktadharam me Manasya virastamalam lakshalabhare. So in this song, we see how, Mother Yasoda, she kissed Lord Krishna again and again with his beautiful curly locks of hair. And how the devotee is asking, I just want this vision of Krishna in my heart, all his sweet childhood pastimes that he had in Vrindavana. So we'll conclude with one last Leela, because there are so many, and these Leelas are happening eternally. But this is a very sweet one, where once when Krishna and Balram, they went to play, and they were just playing, and they didn't come home. And at this time, Mother Rohini, she went to call Krishna and Balram, but they wouldn't come. So then what happened? Mother Rohini, she went back to Yasoda Ma, and she said, oh, now you go and call them, because, Krishna will listen only to you. So you please go and call them. Then Mother Yasoda, she went, and then she calls Krishna, and she says, oh, Krishna, oh, Balram, please come home. Your daddy is waiting for you. He hasn't had lunch yet, and it's your birthday, and you haven't eaten anything. And look at all your friends. They are all so beautifully dressed. They are wearing all their ornaments, and they are so, they've had their bath, and you're still just playing in the mud, and you're looking so dirty. Please come home. Let me give you a bath. And then you get dressed, put on all your ornaments, and then you eat, and then you can go and play again. So saying like this, Mother Yasoda, she took hold of Krishna's hand. She took hold of Krishna Balram's hands and she just dragged them home. So here, Shukdev Goswami says that, because of her intense love and affection, what happened, considering that Krishna, who was at the peak of all his opulences, Ashesha Shekaram, that Supreme Lord, thinking of him as her little child, as a little darling, she just dragged him home. And she bathed him, and she dressed him, and she fed him. How fortunate is she! Hitam Yasoda tamasesha shekaram matva sutam snehani badhadidrapa haste grihitva saharamam achyutam nitva swavatam kritavatyakodayam. So like this, every day, Mother Yasoda had such beautiful pastimes with her dear son, Sri Krishna. And what can we all learn from Mother Yasoda? So Srila Prabhupada tells us that, by following in her footsteps, that without wanting anything in return, completely unmotivational. So she was not looking that Krishna has to do something for me, or that he has to look after me when he grows up, not thinking of nothing, just completely to be engaged in serving Krishna with pure love, with that feeling of humility. So by following in the footsteps of these wonderful devotees like Mother Yasoda, Nanda Maharaj, all the gopis of Vrindavana, then slowly we can also develop that pure love for Krishna. Because at this point, we are all at different levels. We are not very pure, and we have our own anarthas, we have our own different desires, everything. But nevertheless, just by hearing all this, slowly we can develop our attraction for Krishna. And we can ultimately engage in serving him. Because that's what all these wonderful devotees did. Even though they were seniors, even though they were older than Krishna, but with their Vatsalya Bhava, with their mood of love, what did they do? They were still serving Krishna. And that is what we can learn from Mother Yasoda. So we'll just conclude with a little song. Yenatavam Shaidane Yasoda, Yenatavam Shaidane Yasoda, Yengum Nirei Parabrahmam Amma Yendrareka Yenatavam Shaidane. So this beautiful song says, "Oh Mother Yasoda, how fortunate were you to attain the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, who is Parabrahman, as your darling son." So on that note, let us end today's class and be inspired to serve Sri Krishna more and more. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you, everyone. Please join us again tomorrow to hear more from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Hare Krishna.